people aren't just born inherently evil. Usually there's something that's happened in their life to make them do certain things and act a certain way. I think compassion is such an overlooked yet a very important part of life. Like, we need compassion in this world. And I think for some, compassion comes very easy, but for others, it's a little harder. I don't say that to be rude, but that's just the truth. Some people feel with others, but other people just don't really understand why people act the way they do. So today, I want to talk about the importance of compassion and how you can develop a more compassionate heart. So if you want to know more, keep on. I think the reason compassion is such an important part of life is because we live in a world where people all around us are suffering a lot. And if we don't know how to listen and empathize with somebody, it's going to make us a really hard person to open up to. And I don't think that we need to make ourselves available to everybody and make sure everyone feels free to talk to us, but I think if we can help somebody by listening and letting them know that we care, then why not? Why not make ourselves available for others? But sometimes it's a little harder because you just don't know how to go about it. So that's where I think compassion comes in play. So I think the first thing you can do to become more compassionate is try to figure out how you can relate to that person that might be struggling. I'm not going to say in order for you to understand what somebody's going through, you have to go through the same exact situation as them, but trying to figure out how you can relate with a piece of the story can help you become a little more compassionate, because pain always feels more real when we can think back to the moments when we experienced a similar pain. Now, I know sometimes there's just going to be some situations where you just can't find any type of relations to. So another thing you can do is try to think of yourself in that situation, and I think that can help you be a little bit more compassionate, because all of a sudden you're imagining yourself going through that hardship as if it was happening to you. So an example of that is, I don't ever know what to say when somebody talks to me about death. Fortunately, I haven't had anybody that I am super close to pass away. However, when somebody comes to me to talk to me about a loss that they've had, I don't know what to say. So one thing I've noticed is I try to imagine like how I would be feeling if somebody that I love passed away, which kind of seems a little morbid, but it does make it feel a lot more real. Whenever I think about how it would affect my life if I lost somebody that I love, it makes it a lot more easier to sit there and listen and truly empathize and have compassion for that person who's literally experiencing that moment. Now, before I move on to the next tip, I want to say one thing. Yes, it's important to figure out how you can relate to others, and yes, that can help you be more compassionate. However, please make sure you're not turning every situation into a, well, I have it worse than you kind of deal, because that's not being compassionate. It's good to think about how you can relate to them. It's good to, figure out those correlations. However, if you all of a sudden start telling other people, well, yeah, I actually also go through something like this, and my situation's actually a lot harder, like, that's gonna make that person feel like crap, because all of a sudden, like, they're gonna feel terrible they even tried to open up to you, because you were there telling them that whatever you've gone through is even harder. So just kind of try to find fine line there. Another tip for you is, if you want to be more compassionate, literally just ask and then listen. A lot of people are very willing to open up about what they're going through, as long as somebody actually cares and asks them. So if you went to somebody and you asked them, hey, like, what's going on? Like, what has been happening? Yeah, sometimes maybe they're not going to want to open up, but they're more likely to open up if you're the one that's approaching them first. If you go and you ask them, then that shows that you care enough to want to know how they're really doing. And then after you ask, make sure you listen. Don't just ask and zone out. One of the hardest things to experience is when you're being vulnerable and honest and open with somebody and they're not even listening. Like, that's painful. So if you ask somebody, make sure you actually listen. Now, this very last tip I have for you might sound like super simple, but it's one of the most important things to do in order to be more compassionate, and that is literally just care. Just care about other people. I am really shocked by how many people walk around this earth just thinking about themselves and never thinking about other people. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that I am any better than that person. Like, we're all human beings. We all are kind of selfish. Like, we all want to take care of ourselves. But I think it's so important to also take the time to care about others. It's going to be really hard to have a compassionate heart if deep down we only care about ourselves and that's it. So if you want to be a compassionate person, try to take some time and just think about what others might be going through. Before you cast judgment on somebody, kind of think, like, what is that person going through right now? And why is that person acting the way they're acting? And I think it makes it even harder to have compassion for others if you found out, like, you're just not really a big fan of them. It's hard to care about somebody that hurts you and somebody that has caused you a lot of pain. But I think one thing that will make it a little easier to have compassion even for those you don't necessarily like is by just kind of thinking about what it is that they've gone through in life to make them act the way they do. Because usually people aren't just born inherently evil. Usually there's something that's happened in their life to make them do certain things and act a certain way. So just take a little time and think about, why do people act the way they do? And take the moment to just care and love others. But I know that's a lot easier said than done. I would love to know your opinion. Comment down below and let me know, what do you think makes somebody a compassionate person? And just leave some tips down below and let us know, like, how can others be more compassionate? I would love to learn from you all. But thanks again for watching all the way till the end. Let me know if you want to see more videos like these in the future. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Also, feel free to follow me over on Instagram. But for now, you can check out one of the videos I'll have up on the screen. And until next time, bye!